Marion Suge Knight is headed back to prison. Today, a Los Angeles judge sentenced the 53-year-old co-founder of Death Row Records to 28 years in jail.
Suge Knight's status as one of the most feared individuals in the entertainment industry was a result of a potent mix of factors. Moreover, Knight's involvement in violent incidents, including the infamous beating of rapper Vanilla Ice, solidified his reputation as a man who didn't hesitate to resort to aggression.
He had me look over the edge, show me how high I was up there. I needed to wear a diaper. I was very scared.
As the head of Death Row Records, he wielded significant control over some of hip-hop's biggest stars, employing a domineering and ruthless management style that often involves strong-arming artists and industry insiders. His close ties to the notorious Bloods gang in Los Angeles added an element of danger to his persona, giving rise to the perception that he had a network of formidable enforcers at his disposal.
Niggas that fall like, oh my God, he punched Johnny? This nigga's all the way crazy.
Because he the backbone.
Knight's penchant for using intimidation as a business tactic, his history of legal troubles, and his willingness to operate on the edge of the law all contributed to the aura of fear that surrounded him in the cutthroat world of the music industry.
I had my bodyguards who had guns, and they had their people which had guns, and they had us outpowered and outnumbered.
Suge Knight, an American rap mogul and music executive, founded Death Row Records in 1989, which became one of the first mega successful rap labels. The label grew in popularity after collaborating with musicians like Tupac Shakur, Snoop Dogg, and Outlawz. However, Knight's frequent run-ins with the law delayed its rise in the music industry.
There are people who are afraid of you. You know that, don't you?
But probably people are afraid of you.
Knight, born Marion Hugh Knight Jr. in 1965, played football and track at Linwood High School and was part of the notorious gang Mob Piru Bloods. He joined the University of Nevada on a football scholarship and played 2 years with the university team before being picked up by the Los Angeles Rams. Knight quit the team and started working as a bodyguard for celebrities, inspiring him to make a career in the music industry.
All your friends have somehow, I mean, growing up where you grew up, related to gangs, and you really would have to get rid of all your friends to abide by the parole.
The partnership with Vanilla Ice led to significant success in the American West Coast rap scene. However, Knight faced controversy, including allegations of coercing Ice into signing over royalties from his hit album To the Extreme.
You signed over the rights?
I signed over the rights to him so that Suge and them could get paid for it.
So Mario Lavelle Johnson didn't write that song?
No way.
The arrival of Tupac Shakur was a boost for Death Row Records, but some esteemed rappers quit the label due to Knight's growing notoriety. In 1996, Knight found himself entangled with the law due to various legal issues, but did not serve a jail sentence during that year. Instead, his legal troubles and run-ins with the law continued to accumulate.
They get blood from somebody with AIDS, and then they shoot you with it.
Oh, so that seems bad.
That's a slow death.
One of the most notable incidents involving Suge Knight in 1996 was his involvement in the infamous drive-by shooting in Las Vegas, which took place on September 7th of 1996.
We have breaking news. Las Vegas police have arrested a man in connection with the murder of rap superstar Tupac Shakur.
Following the Mike Tyson vs. Bruce Seldon boxing match at the MGM Grand Hotel, Knight, along with Tupac Shakur and others, was driving in a car when a drive-by shooting occurred. Tupac Shakur was shot multiple times and succumbed to his injuries a few days later. Suge Knight was injured but survived.
Telling him I'm finna get to the hospital, kick back. Pac looked at me and said, you know what? You need the doctor more than me. You the one shot in your head.
In 2006, producer Lydia Harris accused Knight of fraud leading to bankruptcy. The label was eventually sold for a meager amount in 2008, and Knight continued his legal troubles. Suge Knight and Eazy-E were rivals in the music industry from 1984 until Eazy's death in 1995.
Rapper Eazy-E has died in Los Angeles after a battle with AIDS.
They were involved in business disputes, and Suge even attempted to take over Ruthless Records, Eazy's record company. Suge was involved in selling narcotics, which attracted the attention of other drug dealers working under Eazy. After being beaten up by a group of men who threatened him against dealing drugs, Suge plotted to get rid of Eazy-E.
Suge tried to destroy my record company with the help of others.
After Dre left Ruthless Records, Suge Knight became jealous of Eazy-E's success and wanted to take over his record company. Eazy was in the way of Suge Knight's business plan, had a son named Eric Darnell Wright with his wife Tamika Wood Wright, and had multiple albums that reached #1 on the Billboard charts. Suge set his sights on Dre when he was in prison and wanted to buy him from his Ruthless Records contract. Dre initially hesitated, but eventually agreed to a $60 million deal. Eazy-E was enraged because he thought Dre betrayed the group by leaving and taking the money with him. Eazy-E confronted Suge Knight at an award show and threatened to kill him if he went near Dre again. Suge Knight has been the subject of various theories in pop culture about the murder of Tupac Shakur and Biggie Smalls. Suge Knight was implicated in the murder of Shakur before he could part ways with Knight's label and conspired to kill Biggie to divert attention from himself in the Tupac case. The Biggie murder theory implicated Knight, a rogue cop, and a mortgage broker named Amir Muhammad, along with the chief of police in the LAPD, in a conspiracy to murder and cover up the murder of Biggie.
A star in the often brutal world of gangster rap has been gunned down.
An LA Times two-part series titled Who Killed Tupac Shakur into the Murder of Shakur and events surrounding it based on police affidavits, court documents, and interviews was written around the same time. The LA Times story indicated that the shooting was carried out by a Compton gang called the Southside Crips in order to avenge the beating of one of its members by Shakur a few hours earlier. Orlando Anderson, the Crip whom Shakur had attacked, fired the fatal shots. Las Vegas police discounted Anderson as a suspect after briefly questioning him once.
Appears as he was the intended target of this attack and he was the only person who was shot.
A 2006 law enforcement task force probe into Biggie Smalls' murder, which included then LAPD detective Greg Kading, included the murder of Shakur. Kading alleged that Knight had hired notable enforcer Poochie to kill Sean Combs' most valuable star, Biggie Smalls, a murder done by following a party at the Peterson Automotive Museum. Charges would never be brought against Poochie or Knight, and the task force disbanded for reasons of internal affairs.
I don't believe that he, injected him with a needle full of...
Even though he said it on Kimmel?
Right.
After Shakur's death and the release of The Dogfather, Snoop Dogg openly criticized Knight for the murder of Shakur and left the label in 1998. He signed with Master P's No Limit Records and formed his own record label, Doggy Style Records. In 2002, Snoop released the song Pimp Slapped, which repudiated Knight and Death Row.
Fucked all your groupies when you was doing time in Camp Snoopy.
In 2006, Snoop again attacked Knight verbally, but Knight responded by stating that Snoop was a police informer who never goes to jail. Suge was one of the most infamous people in the history of hip-hop. The whole industry shook with his name, but now he's serving a 28-year prison sentence for murder. He feels he will die there because of his repeated health problems, a view he expressed in court with a rare display of emotion.
But here he is now, Suge Knight, a former rap powerhouse, collapsing in court.
He was refused permission to attend his mother's burial in 2018. In 2015, Knight, who was declaring bankruptcy in 2008, was involved in a car accident with two individuals, one of whom was Terry Carter, co-founder of Heavyweight Records and a friend of his. Suge Knight deliberately called two men he had bad blood with to meet them. One was Terry Carter, while the other was Clay Sloan. He ended up killing Terry by running him over with his truck, while the second victim, filmmaker Clay Sloan, was injured in the head and foot. According to several witnesses, Suge followed both of them following an argument with the Straight Outta Compton film set, which appeared to be intentionally started.
The video obtained by TMZ shows the January 29th incident where Knight's truck apparently runs over the two men.
Suge pled no contest to voluntary manslaughter in 2018, which resulted in a 28-year jail term, 22 for the hit-and-run conviction, and 6 for being a third strike with his run-ins with the law and violating probation. He is currently incarcerated at the R.J. Donovan Correctional Facility in San Diego.
Developing news now, former rap mogul Suge Knight is headed to prison for voluntary manslaughter.
Before his sentence, Knight gave his first jailhouse interview in October of 2018, accusing Dr. Dre of orchestrating a plot to kill him. His life in prison was filled with phone calls, legal visits, and changing lawyers multiple times. During this time, Knight was unable to have any connection to his family. Suge Knight faced a significant challenge in prison in 2016 after receiving emergency surgery on his appendix. In 2019, Knight revealed his connections outside of prison and named 3 main actors in charge of his projects. He designated Ray J to manage his business dealings with Death Row and left his fiancée in charge of media rights. TV host Nick Cannon is working on a book about his life.
There's several artists that would never ever come to prison, no matter what they do. Everybody makes mistakes.
But life in prison continues to be stressful for Knight, who was awarded a $107 million judgment in March of 2020. Despite being in Richard J. Donovan Correctional Facility for years, Knight remains hopeful about getting out and is looking forward to spending time with his family. He will be eligible for parole in 2037.
Kevin Hackey has applied for a special concealed weapons license, citing Suge Knight as the reason.
What is your opinion on everything Suge Knight was accused for? Do you think everything is true, or is something missing from the story? Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel before you leave.